up, everybody? This is your host, Big Don of the Stable Podcast. And this is my friend over here next to me.
This is Josh.
And we are here at Squared Circle Expo 2025. Actually, it's the 5th Squared Circle Expo, which is kind of crazy to think about the fact that there have literally been 5 of these now.
There have been 5 of these. There have been, 11 or 12 pop-cons. The partridges and pear trees all over the place.
Like crazy. We have an overabundance of partridges in pear trees, as a matter of fact. Well, again, we're here at Squared Circle Expo. The Stable Podcast, we love wrestling. We love meeting fans of wrestling. We love meeting wrestlers. We got a chance to meet a couple of other podcasts that were here, podcasters, I should say, that are here. So, Joshy, give me your quick rundown. Now, we're about halfway through Saturday, which is day 2 of the convention, and it is only a 2-day convention, just so we're not confusing anybody.
Correct.
It's a Friday-Saturday gig. We've still got a few hours of the show, and then we've got an actual live Squared Circle Expo wrestling match. That's right. This evening. So, so far, what are your feelings on Squared Circle Expo 5?
As usual, I'm super impressed. This is, for being, this hotel can feel kind of compact with the Wyndham West over near the Indianapolis International Airport. It can feel compact, but they do a good job of utilizing the space. Yesterday, my big highlight so far was being able to get my family in here and being able to watch my son, daughter, and wife get to meet Will Ospreay, the United Empire of the wonderful All Elite Wrestling that's going on right now. And he was just a great human in general. Made sure to fist bump, shake hands, say hi. He bowed to my wife just because he was just being super respectful. It was really cool. That was primarily my focus yesterday, was getting that done. And then after some drama, which we can go into later, nobody's hurt, but we blew a tire, and now all 4 tires have been replaced, and still managed to get back for Black Label Pro's event last night, which ended with a couple of title changes. I'm not super fluent in what's going on in Black Label Pro, but watching Joshua Bishop defeat Raj Desi for their World Championship was really, really pretty good. I mean, Raj is doing really well in the independent scene. I'm glad to see that. Raj Desi, for those you do not remember, was Jinder Mahal in WWE, the Maharaja. So that was a good Friday. And then today, after kind of a late start, Quentin, who is also on our podcast, where he's still roaming around right now. If we get him, we'll get some of his thoughts later. He and I did a photo op with the Hurt Syndicate, much bigger in person than I was expecting, especially MVP. He was surprisingly large for being, I wanted to say the older of the 3, but I think Bobby might be a little bit older, but it doesn't matter. They kill us. And right now, we've interviewed, what was his name? Red from the Diner Podcast. Make sure you check them out. Don got an autograph with Sin Cara. I got a little bit of video footage of that. We got to meet and talk with Chris Van Vliet. If you don't know who he is and you listen to podcasts, I'm a little surprised. And then we're going to grab some dinner hopefully here soon, and then get ready for the Circle City Rumble as they do, I believe, a 30-man battle royal.
It's going to be awesome.
For the currently vacated Squared Circle Expo Championship, because Nick Nemeth was needed for TNA today.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that.
He technically has to defend it at every Squared Circle Expo.
Yes, so he could not, but we'll get a future rematch as part of the exchange.
That'll be interesting. That'll be exciting.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Josh, you kind of hit on some of my highlights too. Being able to, well, first off, as regular convention goers, whether it's Squared Circle Expo, PopCon, Indy, Gen Con, anything that we end up getting ourselves into throughout the year, my first big thing is being able to run into people we see every year, say hi, hang out, glad hand, possibly, watch wrestling or meet wrestlers together. Obviously, our friends for a bunch of marks are here, and they're goofballs. It was great running into Brian and Raven and Josh from the Bunch of Marks podcast. Again, we got a chance to talk to and meet the Diner podcast out of Brazil, Indiana, which is real close to Terre Haute, if you know the west side of the state. But they were a lot of fun to talk with yesterday. We did a little short snippet on their podcast yesterday, and then they did a little 15-minute, 12-minute interview with us today. So that'll be fun to get that out for you guys. And one of the things that I look forward to, at least I have the last 2 years, I guess. It's not been a long-standing tradition, but several years ago we went to a wrestling event downtown Indianapolis, and at that wrestling event there was something that I had never seen before at a wrestling event, which was a cookie vendor. Top Rope Bakery from Hammond, Indiana, was there at the event, and they are a custom cookie and bake shop. Tori is the proprietor of the company. I definitely recommend checking out their stuff. They've got a ton of new flavors than they had last year. We were joking yesterday when I went and picked up some cookies that she was out of cookies by early Saturday. So when I ran into her last year, she didn't have any, and I was like, dang, man, I really loved your cookies at that wrestling event. And she was like, oh, don't worry, next year when I come, I'll definitely be bringing more. And she's already told me this year that she's planning on making this a regular yearly event, which is great.
Good.
And now we're trying to get her convinced to jump into the indie popcorn scene as well. Because, doing custom cookies and having tons of flavors of cookies and snacks and stuff like that is appealing to every geek, whether you like pro wrestling or comic books or whatever. So hopefully we'll see her as well at a future convention. Yes, I did get a chance to get an autograph for my 13-year-old, who is a big fan of Sin Cara, and that was really cool. I got to meet him and talk to him for a couple of minutes. He signed a photo from when he was on his NXT days, which was really cool, and very nice guy, very, very sweet guy, and in his words, he doesn't get up here very often, but he has had a great weekend, which is awesome, and I know that we hope that all of the people who come to Squared Circle Expo have an opportunity to repeat and keep coming back, because this is one of our favorite times of the year.
Yes.
It's really, we try and make a couple of other events our kickoff, but really Squared Circle Expo has become kind of our kickoff for the convention scene and the convention year, and I think it's a good one, especially because it's usually around or right after WrestleMania. So it's fun to kind of talk about the energy in the room.
That's a great transition, by the way, Donald.
Yeah.
So, unlike previous years, we didn't do a full-on preview for WrestleMania.
That's right.
Which means we're not going to do a full-on review of WrestleMania this year, because I don't have time this May, and they took a lot of time for Mania.
Yes.
But that's okay, because now that Mania is over, Backlash is in 2 weeks, and AEW's Double or Nothing is in 4.
Yeah.
So we're just going to keep going with more. And I think,
who knew that pay-per-views just keep happening?
Yeah, well, and NXT Battleground happens the same day as Double or Nothing, because why not?
Yeah.
So,
Wrestling.
I want to highlight a couple of spots, primarily the 4 big matches. I know there was a lot of stuff going on, but the 4 world title matches, I think, had every level of good and bad you probably could have had in a WWE WrestleMania.
Yes.
So I'll start with the women this time, because I don't think we gave them enough attention last time, and I want to make sure that we do that this time. On night 1, we had our WWE Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. And what should have been a highlight felt like it was a big bunch of sandbagging and very personal, to the point that Tiffany got bruised up. Looked like at one point she might have chipped a tooth, which she may or may not have done. I'm not sure.
I think she maybe just bit her lip or something like that. Because during the press conference and stuff like that, they cleaned her up and she looked great.
But other than the bruising,
she had a knockdown drag out with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Which is what I think made it very interesting, because as we were watching it was like, this feels like a fight.
Yeah.
Like a legit fight.
It was a good match, though. I mean,
it was.
I think I agree with you that I think that there were definitely spots that were they felt like ring rust, but I don't think they were. I think exactly what you had said. I think there was a little bit of sandbagging going on. I think there was a little bit of tension between the two of them. They still pulled off a really good match. Tiffany retained.
Which was a surprise
Yes.
to many of us.
Yes.
Very glad she did, to be honest with you. I don't have any problems with Charlotte Flair
Yeah.
personally, but I think Tiffany being champion and beating Charlotte is
Yes.
best for Tiffany.
Yes, and I think that I won't say that it's on the degree of Becky Lynch getting her nose busted by Nia Jax years ago and becoming the man, but I'm just telling you, like, Tiffany having a bloodied up mouth and looking beat up and still coming through with that belt, I feel like it helps her. I think it builds her up and makes her look like, the BA superstar that she actually is. So,
speaking of that, the other, in my opinion, surprise, though he completely called it, the opener of night 2 was what Dave Meltzer has deemed the best match on the WrestleMania card, pitting the WWE Women's World Champion Io Sky versus her challengers of the Elimination Chamber winner Bianca Belair and the whiny Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. I can say, right out the gate, I picked Io to win this match, which she happily
did. I have no problem with that fact she did.
But I will say, leading up to this match, it was a little hard to get into because I think a lot of us felt like, what's the point of Rhea being there? It feels like very forced, like if they want to do a match with like Rhea and Bianca or Rhea and Io, why are they doing it this way? But I will say that when that bell rang, all of those thoughts were gone. Because that was the best match of the night, of the weekend.
Yeah.
It was the best match of the weekend. Those 3 women went in there and put on a freaking clinic.
Yep.
It was incredible. They all had great spots. There was great rhythm. I even said, like, I thought the match was only like a 10 or 12-minute match. It was much longer than that.
I think 18 or 19,
But it was like steady on. If you have not gotten a chance to watch it and you have access to go back and watch that, it is worth it. First off, one of the best wrestling matches, period. Definitely one of the best women's matches, in my opinion, probably ever. And a clinic for a multi-person match. Like the fact that it was a triple threat match and it didn't feel like a triple threat match can feel. Kudos to them.
WWE needs to pay attention. That is how you do multi-man matches.
Yes.
And so kudos to the women. So, I mean, I don't take Dave Meltzer as canon, but when he gives 1 3/4 stars to a Charlotte Flair match and 5 stars to this one, there's a reason you should watch it.
Yeah.
So from there, I'm going to go to the World Championship matches I have not forgotten about.
Sure.
Night 1's main event, but I believe it should be the last thing we talk about.
I agree.
So let's first start with our Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso, the guy who eliminated John Cena right here in our home city of Indianapolis.
That's right.
Taking on Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And boy, Jey Uso, they opened night 1, right? Yeah, they opened night 1. Jey Uso yeeted all over that stadium. And that crowd was with him, and there's so much too, like so many opinions can be said about Jay's in-ring ability versus Gunther's in-ring ability, and if this were the Olympics, there's no way Jey would have beat Gunther.
Sure.
But the fact that this is pro wrestling, and the fact that he has gotten his fan base behind him, and would not give up, and went to the point, which this, to me, I don't know if you noticed this, but the fact that he choked out Gunther is becoming a weak spot for Gunther, one that he did not have until someone pointed it out in this match, because Ilya Dragunov took advantage of it, and now so has Jey Uso. And that actually builds Gunther. Makes it like, oh, I can't choke out.
He's got a slight chink in the armor, which is always good for storytelling. Like having a juggernaut is fantastic for a short run, but if you want a long run, and I don't mean a title run, just like as a character, you gotta have a couple of faults. No great character comes out of a completely polished scenario. So I agree with you. I think that that match was so much fun, and kudos to both of those guys, because they went in there, they had fun. You could tell that they were just bathing in the energy of WrestleMania 41.
Yes.
And huge props to Gunther going out there and making Jay look great. Huge props to Jay going out there and making Gunther look great.
Yep.
They worked together so well.
Yeah, they did.
And I feel like, and we talked about this a little bit on the podcast, but not necessarily as a preview per se, but I feel like this was definitely the right move for
Yes.
Gunther. It helps Gunther build out of that loss. Huge right move for Jay because it gives everybody that feel-good feeling, especially based on how things would turn out for the weekend. It gives everybody that feel-good feeling for somebody coming out, pulling out a huge win, not just at Mania, but for his entire career, his legacy as an Uso from the NOI family, like that whole... funny enough, Rikishi is here at Squared Circle Expo, and I have not done it yet, but before we leave, I may just go up and
Acknowledge the real tribal chief.
Well, not only acknowledge the real tribal chief, but also just like give kudos to the family for having such an incredible moment. Like, it's got to feel great as a dad to look at your son who you raised in this business and the family that you've raised in this business and see him overcome insurmountable odds and become something that not a lot of wrestlers get a chance to become,
Correct.
Which is a world champ.
Yeah.
So kudos to you guys for doing a great job, great booking, great build, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks of the build.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once Jay kind of flipped that switch, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So that then leaves us, from the world title match perspective, the night 2 main event of the Elimination Chamber winner, John Cena, and the apparent puppet of The Rock, though it had nothing to do with him for everything, versus your undisputed champion, Cody Rhodes.
That's right.
And boy, it was predictable.
It was very predictable.
And John Cena won his 17th championship.
That's right. And
Travis Scott took up half the match for his entrance.
Yeah. And then got Crossroads, which highlighted the match.
It was the only positive about Travis Scott being out there.
Yeah. And what's funny about this match, in my opinion, is we've talked more about the non-match factors than the match itself, which should tell you a lot about the match. It was fine. Not really. It honestly,
it was bad.
It was a world title match. It should have been incredible. You have two guys who can sell to
and
the
Cody
rafters.
did sell. Cody absolutely sold.
And John Cena went in there and he was heel John Cena.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the wrestlers, now that I'm kind of thinking back on it, the wrestlers that were in this match, the superstars in this match, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, went out there and they were John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
Absolutely.
They were true to their form, but there was something about the energy of the match, and I think what that something is we expected and anticipated a lot of, and I said this with Red earlier, we expected a lot of shenanigans.
Well, you kind of do after everything they did at 40. Now they've kind of set a bar, and I'm kind of glad they brought the bar back down.
Yeah.
But on the same note, you kind of brought the bar back down to street level, and now we don't know what to expect next year.
Yeah, and I just feel like there was a disservice done for this match. It should have been something that was just, it should have been a highlight reel. You've got two guys in there that are definite future Hall of Famers. You've got two guys in there that have wrestling legacies, whether it be their own legacy or the legacy of their family coming out there. It's the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania 41, and it just fell flat.
Yeah.
And for the main event of night 2, that's not where you want to be. That's not where you want to be. I think we've talked about it a couple of times, and what makes sense now, and obviously hindsight is always 20/20. What makes sense now, in my opinion, is if you would have had Jey Uso win, if you would have had John Cena win, if you had had John Cena win the Rumble. And then kind of play nice guy right up until...
And then turn at Mania instead of a chamber. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can build Jay in the Elimination Chamber, which helps him because now it makes him look like a beast, being able to beat 5 other guys to get into the main event at WrestleMania to fight Gunther. But it just, whatever they did, whatever plot points they hit, just really fell flat, and that makes me sad.
Yeah,
because it should have been an incredible match.
Because this is the thing that gets me about it, and it's going to spin us into the last match here. I am a big proponent that you main event the show with your world title matches.
Yeah.
And I was very bothered until Night 1's main event finished.
Yeah.
That Night 1's main event was not Jey Uso and Gunther.
Yes. And
then Night 1's main event happened, and that did not help Night 2.
No,
because
it did not.
Night 1's main event was the triple threat match with Roman Reigns, the OTC, coming down to the ring without Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Versus the Architect, the Visionary, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And getting his first official main event, CM Punk, with Paul Heyman in his corner.
That's right.
Being played to the ring by, oh my gosh, the Living Color, playing Cult of Personality, which great job, Living Color.
It was really good.
One of those times where we're like, I'm totally thumbs up for that.
Yeah, I have a comment about that I'll get to after we talk about
this. Those guys, again, Dave Meltzer gives this like 4 3/4 stars. Totally deserving, because I do believe the women's match was better.
It was better.
But not by that, not by a lot.
Not by much.
So that was fair.
I feel like it was better because it had a similar pacing, but it ended clean.
Yes. Because this did not end clean.
Not at all.
Not at all. There was so many false finishes, multiple finishers.
Yes.
GTSs all around, curb stomps, Samoan drops, Superman punches and spears all over the place.
Yeah.
A couple weapons even came into place eventually towards the end, particularly the chair.
I was going to say, we've all seen them, go through an announcer's table.
Yeah.
They legitimately destroyed.
There's no they. Roman
destroyed
both tables with CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
It was insane.
And a great back and forth between Seth and Roman, where we're going to tease the shield bomb, and then he just punched Seth right in the face.
And does it on
so
his own. Good stuff.
The big thing about the end of this, if you haven't watched it, I'm only going to give you partial spoiler warning. We've already told you to go watch this because of the other triple threat match. We had what ultimately was the real story in this, which was who was Paul Heyman going to leave with? Because felt like a prom date. Which one was Paul leaving with? And they had the tease first with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Who's he going to give a steel chair to? And he gives it to CM Punk. And then CM Punk goes to hit Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns with the chair, and Paul low blows CM Punk and does the whole, I can't believe you're doing this. That's my tribal truth. Why would you ask me to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Roman hits him a couple times with the chair. Punk is gone. Now, oh look, Seth Rollins, his back is completely exposed. You should go hit him like you did at 40, because that proved to be smart. And then he winds up, and Paul Heyman slowly walks back around the other side, not only hitting a low blow, but as I heard somebody say today, pick for Easter eggs, as he was wiggling around and with his full arm, and hits Roman with the low blow. Ultimately giving Seth Rollins another curb stomp and the victory as Seth Rollins leaves with Paul Heyman. It was incredible. It was drama. And it was everything we thought was going to happen.
100%. And what's so funny about that is that goes to show you how a predictable match can be an incredible match.
Yes.
Because we all knew and wanted Seth Rollins to leave Mania with Paul Heyman in tow. And I feel like the preview that they gave to us a week or two before that definitely played to that. Now you owe me a favor. Okay, what's the favor going to be, Paul? that now he's a Heyman guy, right? Now he's a Heyman guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a Heyman guy, and then if you haven't watched the Raw After Mania and seen the former Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker spear Roman Reigns into the third row, absolutely look that up. That I thought was going to be a euphemism, and then I remembered he actually did spear him through the barricade, roughly into the third row.
Yeah.
So that worked out well.
Yeah.
A new Dangerous Alliance, maybe? I keep hearing that twisted around. I would love him to use the same term, but I also am just totally fine with it being Paul Heyman guys because that puts Becky Lynch in there too.
Yes.
I'm so...
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have Becky in there, especially after the, we won't get too deep in the weeds, but I struggle with the whole 24-hour title holding before somebody goes back and wins it back. I struggle with that because I feel like you can still build that with Bayley being able to be in the Mania match. And I'm not going to get into that right now because that's a whole
thing in itself.
Yeah, a ton of garbage. But great match. The triple threat match, fantastic match. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker being Heyman guys now, fantastic. The fact that they're going to be able to build their careers into this next level, this upper echelon of their career, I think they are definitely. Seth is already a multi-time champ.
Yeah.
And Braun Breaker is definitely a soon-to-be world champ.
He's a future champ.
Yeah,
for sure.
that dude. So far, that dude can do no wrong.
Yes.
He is great. He is great stuff. And I'm excited to see what happens and how everything unfolds with that. I would love for Becky to be a part of that group. I think it'd be nice to get maybe one or two more, have a nice, steady stable of 4 to 5, almost like an evolution sort of feel. So I'm happy with all of those things. I definitely think, sadly, that the Cena Rhodes match was the low point. I would almost put. I think I will. I think I would even put the Charlotte Flair Tiffany Stratton match above.
Yes, I would.
Cena and Cody.
I would.
When it comes to the big titles for them, I think that's definitely where I would put that. So
definite honorable mention. Make sure you check out the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship as well.
Such a good
Very
match.
much enjoyed that.
So much fun.
And a dishonorable mention would be I was very disappointed by the New Day and the War Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with New Day being tag champs.
No, I
think
think
it
it's
just
great.
wasn't a good match.
I don't. Yeah.
It should have been, but I'm not a fan. I love that the New Day are trying something interesting, but I don't like them as heels.
See, I do like them as heels, but I do feel like they're just kind of cheap heels right now.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of cheap heat. Their most significant heat that they have was the exchange that they had with Big E.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's sad that was just so far, it's sad that that's just a one-off.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could continue to build on that. But again, as Joshie and I talked the other day, I would have loved for Big E to come out after they won and start to confront them about the way that they won and then embrace them. All of a sudden now he's in the fold again and he's going to play their heel manager. But I also understand putting yourself in a management position is still putting yourself at risk. We've seen Paul Heyman go through an announcer's table, recently, within the last year or two, putting a guy who has a near life-ending or career-ending neck injury, put himself at risk for that. Probably not a risk that WWE or himself want to take. So I get him still being on the sidelines and stuff like that. I just hope that...
Mr. Anderson.
Oh, nice.
You had a good con? Yeah? Good. Not bad. Yeah, good.
There you go.
Yes,
Always.
very much so. We're recording the podcast. Yeah. It's the thing.
Come on over.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Come on over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, jump on
What's
in.
up, man?
Hey, how's it going, guy?
How's it going?
Good.
Doing well.
It's good.
How are
What's
you?
up? I'm good.
Yeah. We're doing great. We were just talking about Mania.
You were talking about me?
Oh,
Yes,
well,
always.
We did just
We're
a
always
moment.
talking about you.
That
Anderson.
said, we always love the Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy, anything along those lines. Have
Yes.
you ever had to use that with a different phrase than just Anderson or Kennedy? No?
I don't.
Okay.
I wish I had a better answer for you.
That's totally fine.
That's kind of boring. No.
I feel like that's a gimmick, though, that you could play at, like, any restaurant. Like, I'd like to put my name in. And then they go, what name do you want to get? And then you just
ask for a mic. Almost.
Yeah.
Somebody brings a soup spoon over.
It's all yours. It's all yours. Yeah.
Kennedy!
I love it.
We got a golf clap over here.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good.
All
That's
right.
good. We'll take it. So we're the Stable Podcast located here out of Indianapolis.
That's right.
How you guys doing?
We're doing
good.
okay.
We're good.
Yeah, we're having a great
They
time here.
love me in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
Well,
they
we love you
should.
here.
We love you, yeah.
Yeah,
We're just glad to take advantage of it. There are a lot of other people here that were glad to see you.
You know what? Like, these conventions are always like a class reunion.
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Just hang out in the lobby and
Yeah.
chat with your buddies.
Just chat with buddies.
Yeah.
People that I
That's
haven't
good
seen in a while.
There you go.
Like-minded individuals. Wrestling fans. You know what? Like, the end of the day, I'm a wrestling fan.
Yes.
Yes.
So what are you watching? What are you into right now, wrestling wise?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's fair.
No. I do watch whenever somebody tells me like, hey, you need to watch such and such.
Sure.
I'll check it out.
Okay.
Good.
But
That's fair.
you know, Tiffany Stratton, like one of our students, does something.
Oh, I did not know she was one of your
She's
students.
one of my students,
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. We were just giving her huge accolades.
Yeah.
For WrestleMania.
She's badass.
Yeah,
right?
there were a lot of really awesome high points, and I feel like she walked out of that match looking like a badass.
Yeah.
I think so.
Like, I
Yep.
mean, just
I think you know, she's one of those people that like has longevity.
I love it.
Yeah.
You can
that's
see
fair.
it. Like,
yeah.
you can see her being a main player for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
She's Charlotte Flair. She is a Trish Stratus.
yes, 100%.
Like, as long as like nothing crazy happens,
Yeah.
she's good. She's good to go. You know, and then like Dante and Darius. You watch AEW?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love those
Like,
guys.
you
Top
know,
Flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my
like,
gosh.
Two of our students. Julia Hart was the.
Yes. Is she one of your students too?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta pay more attention to this.
Like the
Now we
beauty,
know.
Yeah.
the
Now we
beauty in running a wrestling school right now for me is like that kind of stuff.
Okay. That's
Seeing
great.
my students succeed. That's just as important to me as
That's amazing.
any of the stuff that I do.
I learned so much at these conventions. Thank you for like just stepping
Yeah,
over and getting
popping
into
over.
it. man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say hi to you.
Yeah,
So
heck
thank you for
yes.
having me on. I'll get out of your hair.
No.
Yeah,
Thank you so
you
much
guys.
for
I
being
think you were
here.
more entertaining than we were.
Yeah, whenever.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. So awesome.
Well,
I mean,
new highlight.
yeah. I don't know how to add anything else to that, do you?
No, none.
So go
None
to Peacock,
whatsoever.
check out WrestleMania, come to Squared Circle Expo
Yeah.
next year, and
Yeah.
check out the Academy, Mr. Anderson's Wrestling School.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Kennedy, whatever he goes by now. It's Ken.
Mister.
Mr.
He goes by Mister.
Mister! That's it.
All right. Well, if I had a 3 count, it would be.
They'd all be ending in Kennedy. at
Yes,
this point.
100%.
it's,
Yeah. There you go. Mr. Kennedy is our 3 count.
Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy.
That's right. All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the Stable Podcast. And we will check you later.
Bye.
Deuces.